Hello grade 12s. I'm going to discuss question 1 with you first. So if you look at question 1.1, it says which of the following safety precautions apply to a hydraulic press. So if you look at your hydraulic press, it's this machine. So it has a platform that always has to be 90 degrees to my press. Then it has the pressure gauges over there, and then all of my pipes where the hydraulic fluid runs through. So which of these safety measures does apply to it? A, check the floor and apparatus for oil leaks, always. So that is an option. B, safe working pressure must not be exceeded. You can't do that, so B is an option. C, pressure gauges to be calibrated regularly. You have to look at them on a regular basis, so definitely C. So my option here will be D, all of the above mentioned. 1.2 says, which one of the following safety procedures relates to the milling machine? So you guys know what the milling machine is, but it's this machine over here. So if you look at your options, A, never reach over or near rotating cutter. You can't do that, so that's an option. B, chips can be removed while the machine is in operation. You can't do that. C, take measurements while the machine is in operation. You can't take measurements while the machine is on. No. And D, know the feed ratios of the knee. That is not a safety procedure, so that's not going to be an option. So my answer at 1.2 is then A. 1.3, which of the following safety precautions pertain to a power-driven guillotine? So this is a power-driven guillotine. Remember, it works with electricity and a machine that runs it. It's not you that's operating the machine in terms of using your hands or your feet. So there's a lot of different safety shields and guards on this machine. So A says a fixed guard protecting the blade. That is an option because it has that. B, a manual or automatic guard closing the end point of the operation. Yes. That's an option. And then C, a sweep away or push away guard. So that's when if your hands get too close to the guard, then it sweeps it away. So that's also an option. So then my answer is going to be D, all of the above mentioned. Then 1.4, which lathe operation is shown in figure 1.1? So which work are they doing on this workpiece? They're cutting from a small diameter to a large diameter. So that means it's taper turning, option B. 1.5, which of the following scenarios are true when considering gas welding? So you know your gas welding is, let me just get the picture quickly. Okay, I can't find it on my phone now, but never mind. It's where you have your oxygen bottle and your acetylene bottle, or your type of fuel that you're using that's positioned on a trolley with chains. So my options here is A, pipes are connected with stainless steel fittings. That's not necessarily true. B, oxygen valves are open first. No, you have to open your fuel first and then your oxygen. C, ill-fitting valves are lubricated. When a valve doesn't fit, you can't oil it to make it fit. So it's not going to be that one. And then D, bottles are chained in an upright position. That is my answer. Then 1.5D. 1.6, the stages of basic first aid occurring in a workshop are. So you guys know what that is by now. It's your examination, diagnosis, and treatment. So let's just look at our options quickly. A, stop machines, examine, and treat. Now, stop machines will fall under examination because that's when you have to look at your environment and see if everything is safe and what you can take away to help the guy that got hurt. So, and there's also one that's missing. There's no diagnosis, so it can't be this one. B says examination, diagnosis, treatment, so that's definitely my answer there. C is not going to be relevant because it's not in the right order. It says diagnosis, examination, and then treatment. You can't diagnose someone if you don't know what happened to him. So it can't be this one, and also not none of the above. Then 1.7, Which of the following operations are allowed while using a lathe? So what can you do while the lathe is on? A, use a wire hook to remove cuttings during operations. You can't do that while it's on. B, take measurements during lathe operations. We don't do that while we're working, only when the machine is off. And then C, use emery paper to make the surface of the material smooth. So that's basically sanding paper. You can't do that because it's unsafe. So D, none of the above. 1.8, which of the following are disadvantages when you're using the compound slide method for taper turning? So that will be this part over here on my machine. So remember, this is the method we use to cut taper on the machines. You set it at an angle. The disadvantages are that you can't use auto feed because my compound slide will move at an angle where my auto feed is set to move left and right. So you can't use auto feed there, and it also tires you out when you're using this. But you can cut large angles with this, and you can cut on the outside and on the inside because you guys cut inside taper last year. So let's look at the options. A, tapers with large angles cannot be cut. No, that's not it, because we can actually cut large angles with this method. B, automatic feed cannot be used. Okay, that is a disadvantage. C, only external tapers can be cut. No, because we actually cut internal tapers, so it's not that. And then D, short tapers cannot be cut. You can definitely cut short tapers with this method, so it's B. 1.9, the distance between two following screw threads is known as, so if you look at your screw thread picture over there, the distance between two points on the screw thread is always my pitch, so it's A. Then 1.10, which milling machine operation is depicted in figure 1.2. So if you look at the feed of my table, it's going to the right, and my cutter is going in the opposite direction. Because it's going up the workpiece, it's called upcut milling. So A is my option there. 1.11, advantages of gang milling. Remember, gang milling is when you use more than one cutter on my milling machine together. So it looks like that. So I used my side and face cutters over there together with my helical cutter, and then you can cut more than one surface at a time. So that definitely has a lot of advantages. So let's look at the options. A, it's time saving. B, less stress on the arbor bearings. Definitely not, because it has a lot of cutters that's working. C, less wear on the cutter. Not necessarily. And then D, none of the above is also not correct, because there is an option A. 1.12, the information on the side of an involute gear cutter, there's actually supposed to stand gear there, but you guys know that an involute cutter is for gears. So if you look at your gear cutter over there, you have your information on the side. This indicates my module, and then this is my pressure angle, and then over there is the number that is in the set and the amount of teeth, the range that it can cut in. So A, cutting depth, yes, they do show that on the cutter. B, module, yes. C, the pressure angle, yes. And then D, all of the above. That will be your answer then.